Welcome, everyone, to yet another episode of Life Stories Unscripted podcast, where I talk about everything from preconception, pregnancy, birth, postpartum, and beyond. I'm Vivian, your host, and I'm a certified doula, a breastfeeding specialist, and educator, and I guide mothers to be on their unique motherhood journey. Um, if you're a parent or you're trying to be one, this is the podcast for you, as I do invite a lot of moms and dads talking about their motherhood and fatherhood journey and how it impacted their life, how it changed their family dynamic, how it changed their relationship dynamic, and what are the ups and downs of being a parent just in general. So if you find yourself on one of these spectrums, this is the podcast for you. So make sure to tune in, make sure to subscribe. I will be very grateful for that. And today we have a very special guest. I'm very excited for her. We have had to reschedule the first time because she had to take care of her children, and she's a social media marketer, and she's from Philippines. So let me introduce Cheska. And today we have Cheska from Philippines with us, who is going to talk about her amazing birth story and about her breastfeeding journey while also being a boss mom. So let me welcome Cheska. Hi, Cheska.
Yes,
It's so
hi.
good to be here. So it's so great to have you, and thank you for taking the time today.
Yes, thank you also, Viv, and hello everyone. So it's nighttime here in the Philippines. So good evening and good morning, wherever you are. So just a little bit about me. I'm Cheska, and I am a social media marketer for wellness coaches and also small business owners. And I have two children. I have a 6-year-old and a 2-year-old. They are both girls, lovely girls. And so basically, I'm a full-time mom as well. And I have a very supportive husband who is an electrical engineer, who is very helpful with everything that I do as a mom as well. So there.
That's amazing. So again, thank you for being here, and I'm so excited.
Mhm.
For our viewers, they don't know, but last time it didn't work out because Cheska had to take care of her little one. But I'm very happy that it worked out now. So
Mhm.
tell us, Cheska, about how does it go in Philippines? How do they approach birth and the process of birthing?
Yes, for my eldest child, who is already 6 years old, my first time having the labor, the contractions, and everything, it's really difficult for me. Though I really have a high pain tolerance because I think I got it from my mom. So of course I get from my OB, from my mom, that it will be painful. The labor pain is really, you cannot describe the pain. So I'm already anticipating what I'm going to feel.
Right.
So during the first hours of my contractions for my eldest, I actually had three false labors before we really went to the, all the birthing process and everything. And then it's actually my husband who counted my labor contractions. So that's past 12 a.m., midnight. So I think it's every 30 minutes, the contractions. And then it reduced up to 10 minutes, and then 3 to 5 minutes. And then that's the time he said, that's it, let's go to the to the hospital. And then he really drove fast. And thank God that it's mid-morning, so there are no the traffic here in Philippines is so huge. Okay, so it's good that it happened mid-morning. There's no traffic, but it's actually raining, and my water broke in the car while my while my husband is closing the gate. So
Mhm.
um when my water broke, I am really having the urge to push already, because it's my first. And then I didn't know that it's really that urge, that it's like you want to poop, just like what they are telling. So I didn't know that it's really that moment. But I I was able to um somehow control myself because I've been breathing, doing deep breathing for that. So, and then when we went to the hospital, I am not sure if they are residents, the OB residents are attending. Um, but what they plan to do, even if they were seeing me that I'm in pain, so much pain, and then I really can't stand up actually, but they still asked me to stand up and change. But and then they are trying to close my legs because they know that the baby might come out. But what really confused me during that time is they tried to put a vaginal speculum. And then the OB resident mentioned that, what's this? I think there's something here. So I was when after I gave birth, and then the meds are already wore off. um, I knew that the resident
Mhm.
touched already the head of my baby. So
Right.
imagine if she pushed the vaginal speculum, the
Mhm.
head of my baby might be injured.
Right.
So when my right, diba? So it's really I don't know, my husband and my parents knew what happened, so they told it to my OB, and then we think that my OB maybe talk to those residents, because if that happens, so what will happen to my baby? Right?
Right.
So that's very dangerous. Once we all know that the skull of newborns are very sensitive, it's very soft. So if she continuously pushed that, I don't know what will happen. So that's it. And then so that's for my eldest. And then the breastfeeding journey is actually quite difficult as well.
Mhm.
I thought that I won't be able to do it because again, my parents, and actually there is a lactation consultant in the hospital. But the sad thing here is she was only there because I stayed in the hospital, if I remember it right, just overnight.
Mhm.
So just one night and that's it. So she went to my room once only. And then she just told me that you just try to press and massage and something like that. So as
Oh,
a first time mom, it is not that easy for me to absorb it, especially that I'm on anesthesia, and then all the pain that I've been feeling. And
oops.
then I am not sure how to really position my baby
Right.
to breastfeed. So I just know that I have to carry like this, and then the latching portion, I am not sure. So the first time in the hospital, it's okay. There's no wound. But when we went home, that's the time that I had a wound on my nipples, and then it's really hard for me to breastfeed because I don't know whom to call or whom to consult, because the lactation consultant is not there anymore. Though my mom is trying to tell me, just try to let her mouth uh, be in the nipple, something like that. But I eventually, as I read books and then watched videos, I saw that it's not only the nipple. So all the areola, the nipple should be inside the mouth. So
Right.
there it, but so I didn't know that. So it's good that there are videos, but I still learned the hard way instead of having someone who will really help me through the process. So I think 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks that I'm doing that, and then it's really hard for me. I'm crying a lot because of the pain. I'm crying, I think, because of postpartum. I think I didn't have postpartum depression, but the postpartum, what,
That
how do you call it?
the
Yes,
baby.
yes, yes, the blues, postpartum blues. I think that's what I had. So my husband being so supportive, and he is seeing me that I'm crying a lot. He sees me that I'm in pain. He tried to approach me and ask me if do you want to give her a formula milk instead, so that you won't feel this way. And then I I'm really crying, and I'm telling him no, I really want to do this and something like that. And but he still bought the formula milk, because it's he really sees me crying a lot, especially during the night. So there, but I really tried hard. So even with that formula milk, I tried to do it on my own, that the proper latching, the proper positioning. So we made it. So my eldest was able to breastfeed until she was 3 years old, actually. And
Wow.
also, yes, and then also for my youngest, same thing. Okay, but for my youngest, there's no problem with breastfeeding, because I was able to do it. I think because I learned from my eldest. But for
It's
my
hard
second
way.
pregnancy, yeah. But for my second pregnancy, we had actually a difficulty, because my youngest, during the congenital scan,
Mm.
they saw that on the right lung there were a lot of cysts.
Oh,
So I think they call it CPAM. I'm not sure if it's congenital pulmonary. I forgot actually, but it's something inside the right lung. So there are a lot of cysts, and every time that we go to check up, they need to really do an ultrasound and check the lung of my baby, because they say that there's no cure. What I will expect is actually that when I give birth, I need to be ready that she might be put into the incubator, or the worst case is when I give birth, she cannot breathe on her own at all. So we're thankful that she's here with us now, and she's 2 years old, turning 3. And I think the Lord has helped us all throughout all the process, my pregnancy, my birth, and this breastfeeding as a mom. So I think that's the summary of what happened
that's amazing.
there. Mm-hmm.
How long were your births like compared to like the first one
Oh,
and the second one?
this for the first one, when I went to the hospital. So again, they were trying the vaginal speculum, but they didn't push too much, because when they do the IE, they felt the head. So I think that was just how many pushes? I think 3 pushes, and then my my eldest was there already. But for my second, I think it took 36 hours.
Wow.
I guess, yes. It's I have a, I think, an answer to that, because some people were asking what happened, Cheska, for your first birth. It only took a few minutes, and then on your second birth, it's so long. And I told them that I think it's because of my fear to give birth to her, because of doctors telling me that uh, it won't be sure if she will be alive after I give birth. So I think in my subconscious, I am trying to preserve her
Mhm.
by, I'm feeling the contractions, I'm feeling the pain,
Mhm.
but I am trying to hold on because I am not sure if she will be alive if I
Right.
give birth. Actually, when I gave birth, she didn't cry right away. So my
Mm.
husband actually was there, and he was asking, Doc, what's happening? Why isn't she crying? And then I think they tapped her for how many times? And then they are trying to hear her heartbeat, something like that. And then the OB just made a sign, a thumbs up sign. And then he said, and then she said, "Don't worry, she's okay." So, and then we heard her cry already. So it's quite dramatic for my second
Right.
pregnancy.
For sure. Yeah. And I think that your mind just, you wanted to keep her in because you knew like as long as she stays in, she'll be fine.
She's okay, right?
So that's amazing. So how did you overcome the fear? Like how did you, was it natural or did they have to give you some IV
Medication.
fluids or some pitocin?
Actually, I've been given a lot of medicines for my second pregnancy. Unlike on my first pregnancy, there's no anesthesia as I remember on my first pregnancy. But here on my second pregnancy, there was an epidural anesthesia, and then I think Buscopan and a lot more of meds because they were really tracking also my labor contractions, the pain that I'm feeling, I think if I'm 10 cm already, so they keep on doing internal examination also. So
And it
there,
was a,
it's really hard.
you had a vaginal birth, right? Or was it a cesarean?
Oh, it's a vaginal birth for the
Oh,
both of them.
that's great.
So, because as much as possible, I want it
Mhm.
also natural as well.
Right.
So, it's helpful that the OB was able to control my weight gain during my pregnancies. But actually, my second child is bigger than my first child, but I was able to still push. But I think if I will be given the chance to go back to my pregnancy, to everything that I've been through, I think it will be better. That's what why I've been telling you also. Doulas here are not that I think talk about than other. I don't know in other countries, but I think some of I actually have a friend who had a doula when she gave birth, and they did it at home with her husband, and I think everything went well. So having someone who can really support you from the first time until your tummy gets big, until you gave birth, until to the breastfeeding part, I think it will be really really helpful for especially for first time moms like me when I had my first child, because it's the hardship really of breastfeeding. I really didn't see that that it's really
Totally.
that hard.
And I
Mm-mm.
admire that you even, you pushed through the pain. You were determined to breastfeed because a lot of women, because of the pain and it's not improving, and the husband doesn't quite know what to do, who to call, where to turn to, and a lot of the moms who themselves were bottle fed, their moms
Yeah,
didn't give them advice, so there's literally no one to turn to. And I think you're very brave for just pushing through the pain and figuring it out with your baby, like this is how we need to do it, this is the position, this is the latch, and then with the second one it's like I got it, like yep, I
yes.
did it the hard way. I know all the errors that happened, and I just think it's great because I think breast milk is gold. I think it's medicine, and
Right.
I mean anything beyond 2 years is amazing. Like if you can breastfeed beyond 2 years, that is the ultimate goal. But unfortunately, not everyone can do that today. Which is amazing that you picked up on that, opportunity and did it. I think
Mhm.
that, and I think, it also helped your second child with overcoming, the adaptation to the outer world, and I think it's
Correct. And I really actually read a lot of articles and watched videos about breastfeeding, and that's what really kept me going, because I saw that there are moms who are really trying their best to breastfeed despite the pain. And then I was thinking during that time, if they can do it, why can't I do it myself? So I really tried my best, even if it's really hard. And then I also read about the benefits of breastfeeding. And my mom actually told me that she only breastfed us, my sisters and I, for only 3 months because it was really hard for her. And she's also a full-time mom during that time, but she didn't know that there are a lot of benefits. So she was also telling me, it's good that you were able to breastfeed your daughters for this long, because when I was your age and then you were a baby, I only had 3 months for you because it's what's really hard for me. She
Right.
really admitted it. So and then I told her, I think because before, hospitals are really promoting formulas, right? There was a time where hospitals were really telling the moms and the new moms to buy formulas for their children. But here in our country right now, formulas are actually banned in the hospitals. So while you're in the hospital,
That's
well,
amazing.
right. So while you're in the hospital, you really can't give formula, but it's up to the mom when you go home. If you want to give the formula, then it's up to you. But while you're in the hospital, no formula is allowed.
So
So there.
how do they deal with how does the staff in the hospital deal with new moms who have problems breastfeeding if there's no formula allowed? And you said there's only one lactation consultant?
Yes, I mean, for me, there's only one consultant who visited me during that time, and it's once. So I'm not sure with other moms if they were able to get an advice from a lactation consultant, because for me, I needed to request
Right.
for
Aha.
that lactation consultant.
Mhm.
It's not automatic that you get to be
Mhm.
visited by a lactation consultant. Um, I asked them if someone can help me during that time. So the lactation consultant went to my room. But I think if you will not request, or you are too shy to ask for help, then you have no choice but to do it on your own.
Right.
So there, for other nurses, they really don't assist you in the hospital in doing the latch and then everything, because what they really do is to care for the mom, to just check the IV, to get the BP. So that's what they do. For the pediatric nurses, they just take the baby if they need to bathe it, and then I think to weigh also the baby. So
Mhm.
that's what I remember. So nothing really specific on breastfeeding.
Which is
So there.
it's quite sad if you think about it because not, banning formulas, but not having enough staff, and the mother having to request someone, which, she can forget very easily about that, being at,
Right.
just
Yes.
going through the immense change right after birth, thinking about
Correct.
her baby, and, the hormones just drop. It's a lot to take in. And on top of that, she needs to remember to call someone, and then there is an option to call someone, but it's not automatic. So really the problems we're facing are rather systemic than practical, because you know there aren't guidelines or rules implemented that would set up a mom for a successful breastfeeding journey. So it's
Correct. So I guess for my second baby, two of my friends also gave birth. So we have they are all same age. So me and my other friend, she was able to breastfeed her baby up until now. So we're the same. But for my other friend who had a hard time,
mm,
she stopped before her baby turned one. I think she tried to breastfeed until 5 months, but after that, she stopped already because she said that it was hard. And then she also told me that there's no more milk anymore. What I cannot is this correct, because I've been reading also about this, that when you do mixed feeding,
Mhm.
the breast milk tends to I think it is not that the flow won't be strong enough for the baby. Is that right? When you mix feed?
Absolutely can happen if you mix,
Oh,
if you bottle feed and breastfeed, 50-50 or 60-40, the milk supply just goes down because there isn't enough stimuli from the baby
yeah.
to the breast. So the more stimulation there is, the more milk the mother will make. But also you need a good latch. If you have a poor latch, the sucking is not as effective. So the baby gets tired faster, the baby gets antsy, he doesn't want to be on the breast, he pulls off the breast, and that's where all the pain comes from too. And the frustration. So it's really just hand in hand. Like, you start supplementing with formula, and the bottle has a really, the nipple on the teat, the bottle teat, is it has a quite big opening, so
Mhm.
the milk flow is very fast and it's
Mhm.
continuous. Whereas a
Yes.
baby who is breastfed, they really need to work together. It's a relationship. Like, you give something, but the baby has to give something too. Whereas if you bottle feed, it's you give and the baby just takes. There is really no effort being made. So definitely that can happen. It's again, it's sad. I think if there would be more education on this and more awareness, the breastfeeding rates in Philippines would be much higher. But again, I think it's very brave of you that you push through, because how's it with the people around you? How do people react when they see a breastfeeding mother in public, for example?
Oh, yes, for that. At first, it was quite difficult also for me, because since it was my first time, especially for my eldest, I'm not that used to it yet. So when we go out and I need to breastfeed, I actually have a breastfeeding cover. It's really something that we have here in the Philippines. But even though you have the cover, some people will really keep on staring at you. It's like they're telling you, why are you breastfeeding here? You should go to another place, something like that. But when I was able to breastfeed confidently and I can handle it better, I really don't care even if they stare. And my husband actually supports me very well because he will be the one to get my breastfeeding cover, and then he will help me position the baby or carry our baby, so something like that. And then for my family and relatives, all of them became very supportive when they saw me that I was crying and really trying my best. So it's good that there's family support. I think if they are not that supportive and then they're just telling me that to give up breastfeeding, just take the formula, that's okay. I think if their attitude is like that, I might give in to that thought that okay, I'll just do the formula and let go of the breastfeeding part. But they were supportive, so I was able to do it also for this long. So there,
That's
that's it.
amazing.
Mm.
Great. And if you think
Mm.
about it too, if you switch to exclusive formula feeding, it's a very big financial burden all of a sudden.
Yes,
And you have to be really diligent about preparing it. And
correct.
sometimes the conditions are just not there for the mother to know, and the baby
Mm-hmm.
can actually get sick. So
Mm-hmm.
saving the
Correct.
breastfeeding, I think, is when moms come to me, saving the breastfeeding is obviously the priority we focus on. But if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, obviously. But like I said, I think if there would be more awareness, more education, more acceptance, it
Correct.
would be much better to promote it, to
Yes.
have
That's
more.
why That's why I'm really thankful when I met you on Iveta's, the QSB. And
Right.
then I saw you posting a lot about breastfeeding, the birthing stories, and then other tips that you're giving. I'm really happy because not everyone gives in a lot of value for birthing moms, especially for first time mothers. So I think what you're doing will be very helpful for a lot of people. That's why for especially for moms and families, for people building families. That's why I'm telling you to just keep on sharing those things, because a lot of people are also looking for answers, especially those who's giving birth for the first time, for those who's trying breastfeeding, or for those moms having difficulties. So there, I think that's really valuable for moms and first time moms as well. So
Thank
thank you.
you. So sweet for you to say that.
Mhm.
And that's my mission. Yes, you summarized it perfectly, especially
Oh.
for first time moms. you know, it's a struggle, and especially the society can be very criticizing, and that can bring you down so much. And you're already going through so many changes, physical, mental, spiritual, and then you have a tiny baby that you have to take care of. And on top of that, you're getting, ostracized, or being stared at, or being told,
Mm,
can you go somewhere else? It bothers me. Some women, they don't know what to say, or they're just shocked. And just this awareness, just to help the mothers, help them what to say in such situations, can be very empowering, and it can be very freeing for them. So it fulfills me what I do, and I'm so grateful that you found the time, because I know, like I said, you're a boss mom, you're a full-time mom to two girls, one of them is still breastfed. So I really, really, really appreciate that, you being here today and sharing with others your birth stories, and your breastfeeding journey, and that, just keep going, like you got it.
yeah.
So
Thank you,
thank you
Viv.
so much, Jessica. And thank you everyone for watching. This was Cheska, a social media marketer. So if you find yourself being a full-time mom, but also having a business, this is
Mhm.
the person you go to 100%. She is amazing. She has amazing results. So you can look her up on her website and Facebook. Um, and I will share her information below. And yes, that's it for today. Thank you everyone for watching, and thank you again, Cheska, for being
Yes,
here.
thank you, Viv.
Thank you. All right, bye everyone.